Welcome to my class, PSB 203. We are going to talk about applications of molecular biology. So what is molecular biology? There are two keywords there. We have molecular and then we have biology. If biology is the study of life, you can simply say study of life at the molecular level. And when you're talking about molecular level, you're talking about biomolecules specifically, like DNA, RNA, proteins in the cells. So when you study all these molecules, biomolecules in the cells, your nucleic acids, your proteins, the way they interact, you are basically looking at molecular biology. And so there is a need to differentiate molecular biology from biotechnology. They are similar, but they are different. Molecular biology is a study, while biotechnology is an application. So one is a study, the other one is an application. So molecular biology is like you're just studying the components of the cells at the molecular level, studying the DNA, the RNA, the proteins, and all of that. But biotechnology is you are applying what you've learned from molecular biology in real life to produce new organisms or something like that. So that is why biotechnology is different from molecular biology. Applications of molecular biology. Number one, we have genetic engineering. That is when we talk about GMO, genetic modification of organisms, modifying organisms to produce desired traits and all of that. We can also apply molecular biology in the area of medical research and diagnostics. For example, COVID-19 was diagnosed using real-time PCR. Pharmacology and drug development. Yes, people are now keen into what we call personalized medicine. Medicines or drugs are given to individuals based on their genome. That is what pharmacology and drug development is all about. Then we have evolutionary biology, we have phylogenetics and molecular clock. All of these are important aspects for studying the ancestors of organisms using their DNA. Agriculture and food production. Of course, we have crop improvement. That is when we produce disease resistant crops, crops with high nutrient level, increased yield, ability to resist biotic and abiotic stress, and all of that. So, food safety, and food can last longer, food can be protected from pathogens. Environmental monitoring, bioremediation, we can, in molecular biology, microbes and plants can be genetically modified to clean up the environment. Biodiversity assessment, using their DNA, you can assess a lot of biodiversity at once instead of, the conventional method. Synthetic biology, creating artificial life, e.g., robot virus, and all of that. It's quite funny, but you can look into synthetic biology. Then gene therapy, treating genetic disorders like sickle cell disease and all of that. Then, of course, we have neuroscience, under which we have neurogenetics. Is a study of the genetic causes of nervous disorders. That means if there is a disorder in the brain or in the spinal cord, there must be a genetic cause. Scientists are trying to study the DNA to see how the information in the genes can affect the brain. And by so doing, a lot of discoveries can be made in that particular branch or application of molecular biology. Then we have bioinformatics. Bioinformatics, as the name implied, is an accumulation of different data, biodata in banks, genomic banks, websites. An example is NCBI Gene Bank. We have a lot like Uniprot, a lot of websites that are involved in analysis. Ethical and social issues in molecular biology. The first is the environmental impact. People are concerned about the release of genetically modified organisms to the environment. They are saying, if you release this GMO into the environment, is it not going to cause disorder in the future? Another one is crossbreeding. What about when this GMO crop starts crossbreeding with the normal for example, you have a GM corn crossbreeding with a normal corn, is it not going to result to something else in the future? All of these are the issues under genetic engineering and GMOs. Then we have a gene editing and CRISPR-Cas9. Ethical use. There is a system or a new um, gene editing tool called CRISPR-Cas9, and it's very, very specific. So people are saying humans can start using all of this to give birth to customized babies. I want my babies to have blue eyes, to be super intelligent, to be fat, to be light in complexion, using all this CRISPR-Cas9 technology to edit the genome of your baby before you give birth to them. So that's why there is an issue of ethical use. Then we have privacy and genetic information. We have genetic discrimination. That is, the availability of personal genetic information can lead to discrimination. Maybe you give your genetic information to a particular institution. When they have access to your genetic information and they see that you are a carrier of a disease, for example, you can be discriminated and all of that. So informed consent is a process of communication between you and your healthcare giver, leading to an agreement for care. And so when this kind of information you are providing to your health caregiver, are you sure that the person is going to, be professional about it? Biopiracy is using products without paying fair compensation to the community from which it originates. And so there's an issue of using all of these GM crops without paying the individual that designed it or the community from which it originates, and people will just start producing many in different countries. That is wrong. So we also have patenting genetic sequences. A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention. So if this exclusive right is given to the scientist that developed the GM crop or organism, for example, it may limit other people. Human cloning. Okay, so this one is, I think it's clear. Cloning individuals. Individuals can say, I want to have internal life. I will, even if I die, I will produce a clone of myself that will continue to live, and that clone will produce something like that. So we see all of this in science movie, but it's still a reality. It's still something that can be done, and so there's a concern about it. We also have assisted reproductive technologies. Some are related to what I said earlier about customized baby and all of that. Synthetic biology. Synthetic biology is producing different biological organisms, you know, with very abilities. And so there's an issue of what is going to happen in the future? Are all these things going to be harmful? All these new organisms that are being produced via synthetic biology, are they going to be harmful? With the living organisms that are natural be secured and all of that? We also have unintended consequences. It's just the issue of what will happen too in the future. Health disparities. Disparities is basically differences among individuals. And so people that can, afford these health molecular biology assistants or something, they are going to be more healthy than normal people. And so there's going to be a disparity. And so we have global disparity. Molecular biology resources between developed and developing countries, there's definitely going to be a difference. Dual use research, misuse potential. People can begin to use it to create, biological weapons, pathogens that can attack countries, viruses that can attack nations, can even confer resistance for their own citizens, that they will not be affected, but other citizens will be affected. Crazy stuff, and all these ethical issues and social issues in molecular biology. Public perception and education. People can be misinformed, and that can result to chaos, when there is no proper information. And then we have ethical literacy. So people need to be educated about molecular biology and genetic modified organisms. And so that's the end of the video. Please subscribe to my channel And I'd love to get your feedbacks from the video. Like and share. Thank you.